Okay, guys, so today we're going to be looking at what is a test cross. And so basically, what we have is a test cross is it's a cross where you breed two plants together or two organisms. One that you know is recessive. So you're looking at a single trait and you're looking to see is that you start off with one that you know that's going to be recessive. And then the other one is the one you don't know. So you want to try and figure out what it is. And when you breed them together and you look at the offspring, then you can determine what alleles are actually present in the parent. So what does that mean exactly? So if I go over here and I take Mendel, for example. So let's say Mendel was looking at the color of his pea plants. So he had this purple pea plant and he didn't know what its genotype was. Now remember, he didn't know what genotype was, but he didn't know if it had some of these hidden chemicals that were these packages that were inherited from parents to offspring. So he didn't know and he wanted to know. So all he could tell you is that he sees that it's purple. And because he sees that it's purple, he knows that it has one of the dominant factors. So what he did is he took that and he bred it. He crossed it with a recessive white flower. So for the recessive white flower, he knows that the phenotype has to have two of these little peas, because I cannot see a recessive flower, I cannot see a recessive trait if I have a dominant gene. So he knows that he has two recessive genes for his purebred white flower. So the white flower is purebred, recessive. And we call that homozygous recessive. The purple one is the one that we don't know. We know that it's P. We know that it's a dominant P, so it's dominant, but dominant in what? Is it dominant homozygous or is it dominant heterozygous? We don't know. So what does he do next? He crosses these two. He breeds them together. So if I set up a Punnett square for this to represent what he's doing, what we see is that he's going to breed the known, which is his white flower. And he's going to breed that to his unknown flower. And the only thing he knows about his unknown flower is that it has a capital P. He doesn't know what this is. So for sure, we know when we're doing this, he's going to get big P, little p here, and big P, little p here. So he's going to have two purple flowers, and they're going to be heterozygous. So if he gets, I'm going to draw the purple flowers here. So he got a purple flower and a purple flower. And so his phenotype is purple. So the phenotype, I guess I'll put phenotype. And his genotype is heterozygous. So if he gets a phenotype down here of white, We know in order for him to have a white flower, he's got to have 2 recessive genes. So what does that tell us that this gene right here has to be? It tells us this gene has to be recessive because he has to have 1 gene from the mom and 1 gene from the dad. So if he gets 2 white flowers, we know these are homozygous recessive. And they would have to be little p, little p. We know that the father here would have to be a genotype of big P, little p. However, if he did this cross, and remember, he knows that he's using this homozygous recessive as his test cross. So again, we have little p up here, and this is our white flower. And we know that this is homozygous recessive. And we know, again, that we have 1 for this purple plant. We know for sure we have 1 purple gene. So everybody here is going to be big P, little p, big P, little p. So that means the phenotype is purple. That's what you see. The phenotype is the trait you see. And the genotype is going to be heterozygous. Now, if down here, remember, we don't know what this one is. If he also gets purple flower and purple flower, then we know that he didn't get any recessive genes from this father here. So we know that he didn't have any recessive genes because there are no white flowers there. So what does he have to have here? What does this father have to give? Well, he's got to give a big P down here as well. So here would also be big P, little p, big P, little p. So again, we know that the phenotype is heterozygous, and the we don't know the phenotype is. Miss Devon's made a mistake there, guys. I'm so sorry. We know the genotype is heterozygous, and we know the phenotype is purple. So these are purple flowers, and these are purple flowers. So if he had a homozygous dominant, parent that he crossed with a homozygous recessive parent, he would get 100% purple flowers. And that's what he did get. 100% purple flowers. When we did the cross up here, you saw when we were determining it, he got some white flowers. Those presence of the white flowers, the recessive flowers, tells you that there had to be a recessive gene. If there is no presence of the white flowers and he got 100% purple flowers, and you bred it to a recessive plant that had white flowers, then you would be able to say that this parent here was actually homozygous dominant, meaning there were 2 purple genes in it. So again, the purpose of a test cross is basically to kind of experiment your way out, breed your way out, mate your way out of a way to determine the genotype, kind of tease out the genotype in the organism you're looking at. Okay, so that's a test cross, and I do hope you guys understood it and it was helpful. Okay, have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you in the classroom. Oh, yeah.